Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Island Boy Cuisine. Today we're going to be making a quiche Jamaique using our all-natural jerk chicken sausage. Lizzie's going to finish demoing how to cut the sausage length. We pre-cooked it and let it cool before cutting it on a bias. We're also using a store-bought quiche shell. It's a savory shell that it can be made fairly easy, but today we chose not to. Not that we didn't have time, but we chose not to. So Lizzie's going to go ahead and start putting this together.
So we're using a 2/3 cup of cheese. We're using some Colby Jack and mozzarella today. You can use any type of cheese as long as it melts. And 8 ounces of our chopped spinach. So, why didn't we add our eggs in?
Well, the reason why we didn't add our eggs in is because, go ahead and mix it up.
Okay.
The reason why we didn't want to add our egg mixture in is because we want to make sure that this is mixed thoroughly without making too much of a splash. And we want to make sure that our egg mixture is seasoned properly. What we're going to do is after we finish mixing it, we're going to put it in our quiche shell here.
So, I noticed we have our beans there. Why did you put beans in?
We use the beans to hold down the base of the pastry because it's made with flour and butter. It is very light. So once it goes into the oven, it's going to steam, and when it's steamed, the lightness, the texture of the crust is going to actually float or rise. So you're going to get an uneven surface.
And I have another question, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry. But why did you pre-cook it?
We pre-cook it so that when it's cooked, the cooking process, it shortens it a little bit, and to ensure that the crust under the bottom is cooked fairly well. A lot of times you'll go to restaurants or shops and they have pies, and when you bite into it, you notice that the bottom is real soggy. You don't want to, you eliminate that by cooking the tart shell or the pie shell ahead of time. All right? So now that you have this mixed here, what I'm going to do is add it to our mixture, or the mixture to our quiche shell, before we add our liquid. And this is a fairly simple process. You want to make sure you get it in there, and it's okay. You want to load it up. If you don't put enough product in there, what's going to happen when you cook it is that it's going to fall, and then you'll have a quiche that is kind of lacking. Nope, I'm going to need that, baby.
Oh, okay.
All right. So while we've had our mixture done there, what we're going to start doing now is adding our eggs.
So how many eggs are we using today?
We are using 7 eggs.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Right, and then we're going to do it with about approximately 2 ounces of milk. You can use heavy cream, which is a heavier product. One of the key steps you want to use that will produce success is to whip the eggs. By whipping the eggs, we're going to be introducing air into our mixture. And
that'll make it more light and fluffy, right?
right. Not only that, but we also want to add our spices. For our spices, we're going to be using a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of nutmeg, some fresh cracked pepper, and these are about a pinch of each. Our sausage has salt in there, so you don't need too much. And the spinach tends to grab salt a lot, so you don't want to make your product over salty.
Oh, and that last bit, by the way, was some onion powder. And
onion powder is our last ingredient there. And as I said, we had about 2 ounces of milk to it. Now we're going to whip our eggs. Let's get that all mixed on there. If you don't mix it properly, what will happen is that you'll have like unmixed scrambled eggs in there. And the eggs won't seep through. The egg white is fairly heavy and dense. And with it being dense, it's going to stay on the top and it won't get underneath. So while our mixture here is going, that looks good. Could whip it a little bit more, but this is fairly good enough. So once that's whipped, we're going to add our egg mixture Right there. Just pour it right in the center and it will find its way to the bottom. You don't want to pour too heavy because if you do, then it's going to end up going over the side. One of the reasons why, this is another reason why you want to mix your ingredients properly before, so that way you introduce light space, and when you put your filling in, the liquid has space to travel and get in there.
What happens if you overcook your shell by accident?
The best thing to do is to use a bit of foil paper, and in our case it got there, and you can tell by the end result we have a little crispiness on the side here.
I like crispy.
It's okay. It is okay. So what I would do is just take aluminum foil and put it along the edges.
Because we're gonna cook the shell again, right?
Right, exactly. Okay. So this is what our product looks like. Ideally, you want to put it on a sheet tray or an underliner.
Which we already have over here, right?
Right. And then you put that in the oven. Bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes at 400 degrees. So, as usual, we made one ahead of time. And guess what's for dinner, people? Quiche. Not just quiche, but quiche Jamaique. So, we're going to cut this and see what a slice of it looks like.
I'm ready.
All right, I know you are. So, very important when you cook your quiche, you want to let it rest for a little bit. And half hour is a good time to give it to rest before you cut it. If you cut it before, your crust, the bottom of it is going to crack and it won't look good. It won't look sexy when it comes out.
Might it collapse?
It won't collapse if it's not cooked enough. When you cook it initially, it's going to rise a little bit. So once that happens, if it's not fully cooked all the way, it's going to be soggy in the center, and it's not going to
I guess kind of unappealing, maybe.
Right. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we got here.
Lots of meat. I love meat.
There you go. Yeah. And it looks beautiful. Are you ready to try it?
Yeah.
All right. As you can tell, you see on the bottom of the crust that it's fairly cooked. It's cooked fairly well.
Doesn't look like it's soggy.
It doesn't look raw, yeah. So it's cooked through. So let's try it.
Okay.
You want to go, or you want to dig there?
Yeah, I'll dig here.
Okay.
Mmm.
Yeah?
Very good.
All righty. She convinced me. All right, so I like more the top than the bottom. So
Meg's very good.
very good. Nice flavor to it. The crust is nutty in flavor, comes through. The eggs light. That's what we're looking for in a good quiche. Thank you very much for joining us, folks. The one thing I'd like to remind you to do is to
like, share, follow, and
subscribe.
don't forget to watch next time too.
Alrighty. As many people may know, my mom passed recently, and this is to you, Mom. Thank you. Have a good one, folks.